Oh, hey guys, Penny News here. I just want to make a quick video and let everybody know what happened to me out in Marlborough, Massachusetts. I know that Ohio Guardian had come out to help me do an audit there, and it was really nice that he was able to fly out and take his time out of his busy schedule. So I want a special shout out to him first of all for helping me out. You know, the reason I want to do this type of audits is because we need to hold these people accountable for what they do, their actions. They're out there hurting people, and when cameras aren't on them, that's when they do their best work. So if we just keep those cameras rolling and keep them accountable, they're going to have to start behaving like decent human beings again, not like the thugs that they are on some power trip with a badge. Now, it's unfortunate what happened to me in Marlboro, and I don't have a vendetta against police. I think police are necessary. I think they do a good job. They're supposed to make the community strong, and we should really look up to these people. So they need to be in a better frame of mind in order to do that. I don't think they get in proper training. I think they're coming out of the academy with military style training, and they want to use their power and their force and show people who's boss and things like that. So I think that we need to rope it in, go to our communities, make sure that they're following the laws, make sure they know the laws, and if they don't, we need to train them and make them understand that, you know, we're not bad people and we're not against them, and that should be the other way around too. They shouldn't feel as though we're against them. So as you can see from a lot of my videos, I'm very calm, I'm cool. I just want them to be friendly. I want them to interact with us properly. And if they don't, I want to call them out on it. I want them to be have somebody call up the station and let them know that they're not doing the right thing. So I think going forward, you know, if everybody would stop like really swearing and stuff like that, it'd be nice. I know sometimes it's unavoidable. You just kind of snap, and it's a reaction thing because they're being such tyrants, and sometimes that's the only way you can get their attention. So really just try to cut it back a little bit. It would be nice. I'd like to see that. Make the interactions really good. I know News Now Houston's really good at that. He's very polite and to the point, but he still stands on his rights. So I think without further ado, I want to get back to what happened to me in Marlborough, Massachusetts. The police there came out to the scene. He radioed in that somebody was sleeping in a car, which was me, and I was in a Honey Farms parking lot. I was there for a reason, really personal reasons, because the person that I live with has cancer, and they really needed help from their family, and it wasn't there. The support group wasn't there, and so I didn't know what to do, and I was just out there. I fell asleep in my car, but I don't want to get too deep into why I was there, but I was there because of that. So when he knocked on my window, I woke up, and he had the flashlight in my face, of course, and I was blinding. Needless to say, after you wake up, your eyes need to adjust, and the first thing you see is that blinding light of a policeman's flashlight. You know it's a cop. So right away, I'm trying to block the light so I can see who it is outside my car. Then I can hear him saying, roll down the window. So, well, the keys weren't in the ignition, so I had to grab them from the console. So I put my hands where he could see them, and I said, look, I'm just gonna grab my keys from the console just to let him know. And I reached down slowly, I grabbed the key, I showed it to him, and I put it into the ignition. Okay, and I just turned it into accessory, and I rolled my window down. Well, he then proceeded to ask me, have you ever been arrested? That was the first thing out of his mouth. Don't know why he needs to know all this information about me right away. I was just sleeping in my car, right? First thing should have been, are you okay, sir? Do you need any help? That would have been the appropriate thing to do. But instead he wanted to be the thug and start getting in my face and being aggressive with me right away. And I just said in a calm voice, like I normally do, I said, respectfully, sir, I don't have to answer that question. And he just, you could see him get taken back by, what do you mean you're not going to answer my question? And then he said, are you on parole and stuff like that. So it was only a couple of questions. I just respectfully declined him twice on his questions. Well, he took a huge step back. He puts his hand on his gun, okay? And he says, get out of the car, you're under arrest, okay? Now, I didn't know what to think of this. I'm like, why am I under arrest? So I said, for what? What am I under arrest for? And he says, for disorderly conduct. I says, okay, I don't know how that could be possibly disorderly conduct. You know, I was just answering, I wasn't answering his question, and he was just mad at me. So at that time, another guy that had come to the scene at the same time was standing outside my car door. And I knew he was probably going to grab me first. All right, so I opened my door and I got out slowly with my hands in sight, and I started to put my hands behind my back because I thought the guy on the left who was standing by my door when I got out was going to cuff me. So I was very peacefully, I wasn't doing any, quick actions. I know I was just had to be careful, And so when he grabbed me by my left arm, he grabbed me around here, and he kind of forcibly, as I was saying, I thought he was just gonna, push my hand behind my back, but he didn't. He shoved me forward real fast, and then Officer Bradley, okay, Graham was the one holding my arm. He starts yelling, "Stop resisting!" And I was like, resisting? And then all of a sudden, all I knew is they were both taking me down. I said, I'm not, and they just slammed me face first into the hard tar pavement of the parking lot. I had no way of bracing my fall. My hands were back. So my head hit, and then I skidded forward, I'm sure, because of the skin that came off my head, okay? And I'm going to show you a picture of what I looked like, and they called this a little scratch, by the way. Alright, so right away I kind of blacked out for a second because they hit me so hard into the pavement. And then they just continued to crush my face into the pavement. He put his knee on the back of my neck, and my glasses were getting crushed into my face. Okay. And I was starting to just scream in pain so loud that I woke a guy up that lived in the neighborhood. And he called 911 and said, hey, you got some guy, some kid on the ground or whatever, and, he woke me up, and what's going on over there? So, I mean, it was enough pain that I woke people up in the neighborhood. All right, so after they, got me cuffed and everything, they stood me up. They had one guy behind me. He was holding the cuffs, and I had my hands. He had his hand between the cuffs. And one of the guys started going up and down my leg. And when he came up, he slammed hard up into my crotch. And it hit me so hard that I lurched forward, and I kind of winced in pain. And then the guy who was behind me, I don't know who it was, I couldn't see him, he yanked up full force, pulling my arm straight back. He sprained my right wrist. Okay, that's how hard he yanked up on me. Okay. At that point, I might have swore, I don't know. I mean, it could have slipped out, but he then sat me down on the ground, and they had to call the medics because I was bleeding all over my face. And as soon as the medics came, there was a lady that was tending to my wound on my head and everything. And I begged her, I said, please, and I tried to be quiet so they couldn't hear what I was saying. I said, please don't let them hurt me anymore, they're hurting me. And then the guy kind of overheard me talking to her, and he came running over. He said, he's fine, he's coming with us. And she just, like, in fear for whatever, her job or something, she just said, okay, he's fine, okay, you're cleared by the paramedics. And he throws me in the back of the cruiser. Well, I could see him, even though I said, I'm not giving you permission to go in my car and stuff like that. They just laughed at me. They thought it was a big joke. They were taking stuff out of my car while I was on the ground before that, and putting it in my face. Like they had my Leatherman, my multi-tool I use for stripping wires and stuff. They put it in my face and, what's this? What's this? And I just said, I plead the fifth. I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right. I'm not going to talk to you people unless I have a lawyer. And that sort of thing. And they were getting madder and madder. So they started throwing all my stuff around the car. They tore it up. And, all the stuff from the glove box, whatever, was just tossed all around the car. Total disrespect of all of my things in my car. So, after they took me down to the station and they got me out of the car, they took my photographs and stuff. And then they put me in the cell. And he came over. He said to me, I think it was one of the people on the staff. I forget which one came to me first. And he says, "Are you ready to give your statement?" And I said, "I am not going to give you a statement unless I have a lawyer present." And I said, "I need to go to the hospital immediately. My head is on fire. There's something wrong. I need medical attention." And he kept refusing to give me medical treatment. He says, "Well, fine, if you're not going to give you a statement." He closed the door. He just slammed the door. And they didn't give me any blankets. They didn't give me anything. They didn't give me water the whole time I was in there. He kept coming back. He came back like three times altogether. And he would ask the same thing, "Are you ready to give your statement?" And I said, "I am not going to speak to you without a lawyer," every single time. And I also demanded that he take me to the hospital. They refused every single time, even though I was in such pain. And in the morning, they came over and they just tossed a bag of McDonald's in on the floor like some dog. They didn't even come in and see if I was all right. They just opened the door real quick, threw the bag on the floor, and slammed the door again. I mean, it's just total disrespect of human life. These people treat you like a dog in there, and it's sickening when you see how they treat people who have done nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. It's like after the day shift came, the sergeant knew that something was not right, and they must have had their conversation. The sergeant comes over, and he probably knew those guys had messed up a little. So, hi Penny, come here, Penny. Come here, come here, come here. All right, this is Penny for Penny News right here. Say hi, Penny. All right, so he came over to the cell and he says, "Look, hey, we want to do the booking. We got to bring you over to the courthouse. Do you mind if we just do the booking?" He said, "You don't have to give a statement." And I said, "That's fine. I'll definitely do the booking, but I am not giving a statement." So he agreed, and then we went out. We did the electronic fingerprints and everything, and then they shackled me like I'm some common criminal. Shackled at the feet, shackled at the hands. And they transported me over, and the lady in the car is like, "So what's going on? What's happening?" And I says, "Well, you guys beat me up pretty good last night. You guys, are doing the wrong thing. I should be going to the hospital." And she just didn't say anything. The rest of the ride, she just was quiet. So I got to the courthouse. They stick me down in the cell downstairs. And they left me there all day until the afternoon, shackled. Okay? So by the time I got out of there, and they had me up in the lobby and they were giving me back my stuff, there was another guy there. He was like the security for the place or something. Or I don't know what his role was, but he was the one uncuffing me and giving me back my stuff. And he looked right at me with such, I don't know, the look on his face like he's something. Like he's got some power over me, and he says, "That'll teach you to resist arrest." Like he's the one that's gonna, make sure I know that, hey, I messed up, right? So they released me, and my cell phone is dead at this point. It's been on all night. That's the other thing. They answered my cell phone, my personal phone, while they were at the scene. Somebody called me. So. My phone's dead. I don't have a ride. My hip is hurt so bad. I can hardly walk. I can hardly see because of the concussion I got. All right, so I get out of the station. I start walking down to the nearest place, which was a mobile station. And I needed to get, to find where my car was because they had told me that they towed it. Because that's one of the questions I asked them after the booking. I said, did you tow my car? And they both looked at me and said, yeah, we towed your car. You know, like, but of course, you know. So I get to the station, to the mobile station, and the girl looked at me in horror and she says, wow, what happened to you? I told her the story about the police, and she says, oh my God, I can't believe they did that to you. I says, I can't see, they broke my glasses. Could you please call the police station for me? I need to find out where they took my car. So I call the police station, I get on the phone, and they said, oh yeah, we towed it to so-and-so for, you know, impoundment. Okay, so I said, okay, well I better call a cab. So I said, could you please call a cab for me? She calls a cab for me, and they show up like a half hour later, and I go down to the place. So, you know, I'm eating up a lot of the day, and I'm not feeling good. I am really hurt. And so I get to the place where they said it was towed, and the guy looks around the back lot, and he comes back and says, I don't have your car here. I says, you're kidding me. That's what they said they towed it. He said, well, there's other places in town. I said, well, could you please call and find out if it's at one of the other places, you know, if you know the names of it? And he agreed, and he, you know, he wanted to know what the story was too, so I ended up telling him the story. So we call every place, and the car's nowhere to be found, okay? So I said, okay, could you call the Marlborough Police Station back again, please? So he calls back the Marlborough Police Station, and the guy just laughs at me and says, oh yeah, no, we didn't tow your car. And they thought it was some big joke. They thought that, you know, they could just run me around town and have me on some wild goose chase looking for my car, okay? This is not funny. I'm hurt. I don't have any way of communicating with anybody in my family because my phone's dead. You know, I don't know what to say. These people violated my rights in so many ways that I can't even begin to put my finger on what was the worst violation. And everything was just horrid. Everything about what they did. So I eventually get back to my car, and the cab driver was super nice. He's like, I ain't gonna charge you any extra. He's like, you know, good luck to you. And I looked at my car, and all the stuff is thrown everywhere, and you know, I had to, you know, move the stuff and put it back, and they had written something on the windshield in wax and on the front of my car and everything. And they dented my car. There were scratches on my car. I don't know why they thought they could just damage my brand new car. You know, it was 2016, and it was you know, I can't even believe this stuff happened to me. But, you know, I get to my house, and I took a couple pictures of my injuries. Directly after, I'm going to post it, and that's when it happened, and I took it right when I got home. And then I was so tired and exhausted, I said, I have to lay down for a few minutes before I go to the hospital. And I with my clothes on, I just fell forward into the bed, and I didn't wake up till the next day. I was just, I don't know, I just couldn't wait. I didn't wake up. And when I did wake up, I went to the hospital, and they said I had a concussion. I had a wrist sprain. I had my back was strained. Everything, you know, my hip. Had a lot of cuts and scrapes and stuff on my arms and my fingers. I still had dry blood on my hand. Yeah, it was just a horrible experience. And you know, these guys aren't accountable. You know, I end up spending $8,000 for a lawyer. I had to go to several court dates and miss work, and I had to go on short-term disability for 6 weeks with my concussion. Went to a neurologist, had to pay for that, and I mean, it goes on, you know. And then I had to go to therapy for quite a while because of all the stress and PTSD that I had. So, I mean, I don't know what to say, but these guys need to be called. They need to be, let everybody know that, hey, we can't do this to this guy. I mean, if it happens to me, it's going to happen to other people. That's why I want to get out there and interact and help cure the problem, rather than try to, you know, go take vengeance on these people. I didn't even file a complaint or anything, but it's not like I want vengeance, but I want things to get better for other people. You know, I don't want this to happen to anybody else. That was a nightmare, and it set me back financially, mentally, emotionally. I think that people out there deserve better from their police departments. So anyway, that's what I've got. I'm going to post the number for the Marlboro Police Department. And like I said, Ohio Guardian, you're the man. You really did help me a lot. You helped me get out there and start doing this. And Monkey 83, I mean, I'm going to continue working with you. You've been an awesome dude. We just need more people out there, more cameras. We got to hold all these people accountable, everybody. So, you know, if this inspires somebody, I hope that, you know, you go out and do this as well. All right, so this is Penny News, signing out. I hope you have a great day. Okay, you take care.